Hi everyone, welcome to this video, Azure App Insights. In this video, I'll show you Azure App Insights and how it can collect or what all information it does collect from your application and how you can actually get real-time monitoring for your Java-based application. Sample application which I'm going to use here in this demo is my containerized Java application. As you can see here, this particular application image, container image is currently hosted on Docker Hub. You can search this image in Docker Hub directly. Anyways, it's basically a Java 11 based application. It's basically a Spring REST service. And yeah, it's already having this Azure App Insights agent. Azure App Insights agent is already configured inside this container image. I will talk in another video how we can do that or how I build this application, how I made this application ready for Azure App Insights, but that would be for some other video. Right now, let's create an app service here. So just a standard way of creating app service, nothing unusual as such. I'll be creating an app service. Let's give it a resource group of its own. Let's call it Insights resource group, Insights RG. I'm going to create an application and let's give it a name, library app. Let's see if library app is available. Yes, libraryapp.azurewebsite.net, this domain or this website instance name is available already. I'm going to deploy this application right now in, let's say, East US, this region. You can choose whichever region you want. And my application is going to be a Linux-based container application, containerized application. Okay, now this is the default size selected over there. In case if you want, you can change this size. For me, this size is completely okay as of now. It will then ask me about whether you want a Docker Compose file or a single Docker container file. You can choose single Docker container. Then Docker Hub, public tag, and this is going to be the image for me. There is one more thing, however. This particular image which I have built is currently listening on port 8080, whereas a standard, a standard web application actually listens on port number 80, that is port 80 and not port 8080. So that could be a problem here. What I can do basically, okay, fine, let's just continue with this. Next, monitoring. Let's see if we can enable monitoring here. Let's enable the monitoring and it will create a new monitoring or Azure App Insight for this particular app. Once it is done, let's click review and create button. That's my review create button. This will do a final validation on whatever selections I have made. And based on that, yeah, everything is fine. Now I can hit the create button. Let's wait for the application to be deployed. Guess what? I will be actually deploying two different things here. Number one, Azure Web App for Container, and number two would be Azure App Insight. Let's wait for the deployment. It should take approximately 1 or 2 minutes, not more than that. So it's going on. I can see it has created the server farm or application service plan. Then it's now building the App Insight component for it. When you create application insight, a new application insights instance in Azure, every application insight instance gets instrumentation key, and that instrumentation key is automatically injected inside your web app. So I will just explore that part of it. This is my library app, and okay, let's just check few of the settings in here from the deployment center. Yeah, it's basically a container registry, single container from Docker Hub, and this is my container image name. Okay, everything looks fine. Let's check the logs. Now the container logs, if I look at right now, looks like everything is working just fine, and it has, kind of pulled up the image and everything. Fine. I will show you later how we can deploy this using a compose file. Instead of directly deploying an app, we can compose it via we can deploy it via compose file as well. Fine, everything looks fine. Let's do one thing. Let's now try to search for the, wait a second. Let's go to the resource group because there must be another component in that resource group. Yeah, this one, application insight. Now I'm looking at application insight here. And yes, let's see if I can get the application map. If Insight is currently configured properly, you should get something like this. You will see this is my library app, and this library app has an internal database, in-memory database rather, whose name is testdb. And there has already been 14 calls made between these two. That's basically for initializing the database, nothing more than that. So let's do one thing. Let's try accessing that application from here. What I will do is I'll just go to my web app. Okay, where it is? Wait. Here it is. This was my library app, and let's click on browse button, and here it will take me to the page. Let's wait for it. A port number I may have to change. Let's change the port number. This is not going to work otherwise. And I will also drop HTTPS. This application is plain HTTP application, not HTTPS. Okay, there is no TLS configured. Let's wait for the page to load. Meanwhile, okay, this was my app, and this was the application inside, as you can see here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's just go and check the performance tab. I just want to see what is the performance, overall performance of my application. There is no data available for the performance. It will be available in just a couple of minutes. Looks like this thing is not working here. Let me check if it works with HTTPS only protocol. If that doesn't work, what I will do is I will then just stop this application and deploy it with the Docker Compose file, where I can modify a lot many different values. Like I can modify the port mappings, etc. Wait a second, I guess we should check the logs once again. These are the deployment logs. Okay, it's already doing the task. It's already listening on port 80 to 8080. So that redirection part is already taken care of, as I can see. It's already using port mapping to 8080 port. Okay, fine then. There's no need of writing 8080 then. The port mapping part is already taken care of. Wait a second, looks like I'm getting some kind of error here. If you are application administrator, you can access the diagnostic resource. Okay, fine. Let's wait again. Okay, there's nothing in the logs as such. Okay, it's already running this application on port 80. I can see here. No worries. I will just show you how we can change the deployment setting here. Instead of single container, you can deploy it as a Docker Compose file. Only thing is you have to provide the Docker Compose file configuration. Now, what I will do is I already have the Docker Compose file configuration with me. This is my configuration. There's only one thing that I need to provide here. And that is what is that one thing that I need to provide? I'll tell you what it is basically. I have to provide the correct application insights connection string. So let's do one thing. Let's just go to application insight here and overview tab. And from overview tab, this is the connection string that I need, this one. So here is the connection string defined in my Docker Compose file. Let's copy and paste it here. And don't forget to put double quotes around it. And it's done. So this is my Docker Compose file. And now I'm just going to click the save button. I already have the port mapping also done here. So it will directly deploy this application on port 80. So port mapping or port forwarding is already taken care of here. You can see it here. Port mapping is already taken care of. This is better option of configuration. I'm manually configuring connection string for application inside, and I'm also doing the port mapping manually. Let's try to browse this page again and wait for the UI to load. So as you can see, this is basically a RESTful service, and this is basically the Swagger UI that will load by default. Let's see how many endpoints I have right now. Let's say there is a book resource. Inside book resource, there is an endpoint API books. And if you just, kind of try this out, you will get 1 or 2 books. Yeah, I'm getting 2 books right now. Let us see and let us C++. These are the 2 books I'm getting. And let's try this one again, but this time I will try a different method. Let's try to get a book that doesn't exist. Okay, I'm trying to get book with ID, let's say 101. I don't have any book with ID 101 right now. Let's see what happens when I make this request, and you will notice I'm getting server error 400. Book you were looking for doesn't exist in library yet. So I got this error, right? Let's go and check the application insight. This is my application insight, and let's look for the performance tab. Okay, this is the performance, and you will notice it has already detected the page performance. Like for example, how much time it took for this particular page, API docs, errors, Swagger UI, resource, etc. And I can check the CPU percentage and available memory. All those metrics are available here to explore. And to make it even more interesting, there is something called live metrics. Once you enable, you will be able to actually see the changes in real time, or you will get the monitoring data in real time. Let's see the example of real-time monitoring now. I will put this window here. Okay, and let's see now. There is nothing here as of now. Let's try to make some request. I'm making few requests repeatedly, and you will notice here I just click the execute button 3 times, and all the 3 times it is resulting in server error 400. And my application insight live metrics have captured it immediately. Let's see the details about this error. Let's say if you are a developer and you want to just know where exactly at what URL endpoint you got the error. So here are the details. Some user has made a request at this particular date and time, and this was the request URL or the endpoint that was invoked, API book ID, and the actual incoming URL was this, API books 101, and you got 400 requests. Okay, that's fine. Let's try something that exists. Book number 1 exists already, and we got 302 redirection message. Redirection is not considered as an error. Okay, so I got this here. This is the live monitoring, as you can see here. Entire application is running on cloud, and monitoring is also happening on cloud. Fine. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.